long, steep descent.
Going into Adelaide. She's steep.
She's very steep, isn't she?
Fifth gear and she's still cruising along.
Ooh. To emergency safety rails, if need be. Most of those trucks going down here. Does it do damage to their brakes?
That's why they told me it was low gear, so that's
If anyone hear me, please. Radio check.
A little bit of road works. Looks like there's a truck rolled over. It's no more good.
I've tried to overload and tip it over.
I don't know. Looks like
No, he's gone into the barrier there. He must have spun around. Oh, something's hitting. Looks something's hitting coming out of that side street.
Made a big mess of it.
Yeah.
Jackknife or something. That car that was going the other way, maybe. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you couldn't have painted that. Maybe they did. So, South Australia's water is not always the best, so we're at this little $10 a night camp in Borton, which they're still sort of setting up. Nice little spot, but they haven't had any rain anywhere around here for ages. But here you can get drinking water for like $4 for 80 litres. So you stick your $4 in there, it fills up an 80 litre tank up the top, and then we're using the creek pull thing to get it out of the bucket into the caravan, because their hose is not a standard size hose. But this does the job. So good little camp spot here. Actually, it's just a farm, and you just park in amongst the palm trees. So you've got to be self-contained here, because there's no toilets or showers. But cracking little spot for $10 a night. You're only about, I think, 3 kilometres from town. So I'll just give you a little bit of a look at how dry the land is around here. So this is a wheat farm. So that's they harvested that back in December, and so there's just, they can't plant it because there's just no moisture in the ground. We've got about a ½ millimetre of rain here the other night, and it's the first rain they've had since October last year, so it's pretty dry. But anyway, as you come into Port Broughton from say the Port Perry side, you've got this little camp. It's about 3 kilometres before you get into the town. It's actually been done by a local artist. So there's a guy called Wendy, and all the artwork that's on display you can actually buy prints of at blockmountaustralia.com. He's got some interesting stuff here. Most of his paintings are of the local area. He's got some sculptures in that as well. So their intention is to improve this park over time. They've got a little fenced off-leash dog area there. Potable water dispenser, which is $4 for 80 litres, which is pretty good. Water in this part of Australia is not very drinkable. So that's where we are. So we're about halfway up the Spencer Gulf. here. A little barbecue. It's a bit cold today, but this would be nice on a warmer day. Sit around and have a beer with some of the fellow campers. Augusta, and just have a look out the window here and how many turbines they have here. So admittedly this is not very attractive land here and it's not a national park, but the other side of Port Augusta where it is beautiful land, they've got the same thing. So South Australia have a bigger issue than most other states in that they don't have any coal-powered electrical plants at all, so they rely on wind and solar. But the wind it's just pollution of another kind. Like it's I think the solar's less intrusive, but whether they're the cost of cleaning them up once they've sort of reached their end of life is probably going to be the same, if not more. The problem with these wind turbines is a lot of steel and concrete goes into the foundations to hold them up. The blades on those are made from carbon fibre, so that's not easy to dispose of. You can't burn it, you can't crush it. So all they can do with it is bury it, you can't recycle it. There's the wind turbine farm in Victoria now, they're just in the process of closing down, that's 20 years old. So if that's going to be the life expectancy of these sort of turbines, I don't see how that's good for the planet. Each one of those things has got, might as well keep burning coal. So we're down Port Augusta and just go for a little bit of a ride around on the path which runs along the foreshore. So Port Augusta's right at the very top of the Spencer Gulf. We'll go catch up to the boss. How's the little bike going, Wendy?
Good. So what is this place?
So this is the Australian Arid Lands Botanic Gardens. So these are all Australian native plants, mostly desert plants. Go in and have a bit of a look around, see what we can learn.
I'm glad we're walking around it when it's not stinking hot.
Yeah. But I don't know if you've never been to Port Augusta, it's one of the driest places in Australia. They get hardly any rain here. So you drive through town and no such thing as lawns. They're all the front yards are all gravel or concrete. So we're in the Botanic Gardens, the Australian Arid Lands Botanic Gardens. And this is the look out from Red Cliffs. So that's the Spencer Gulf there. It's pretty much the tip of the Spencer Gulf here. It goes inland that way and back out to sea past Port Lincoln down that way. I'll send the drone up from here shortly and give you a look at all the turbines are in this area. There's thousands of them. But she's a dry part of the world out here. It's pretty cold at night time here this time of year. I think last night it got down to 2 degrees. A couple of nights ago it got to -2. But looks like it's going to be a beautiful day today. It's supposed to get to a top of 20 today. But the town of Port Augusta itself is pretty much just an industrial town. There's not much there for, attracting tourists. But they're working on the foreshore down there, putting in a nice walking track, bicycle track down there. But this Botanic Gardens is about 3 k's out of town, just heading north. So stop in and have a look at it. It's definitely worthwhile. We'll go for a wander up the hill and send the drone up from there. So we're going to send the drone up and have a look. We're at the head of the Spencer Gulf here, and there's a wind farm down that way, so I'll send it down there and have a bit of a look at them for you too. So there's a little bit of history for you. So Matthew Flinders, when he was circumnavigating Australia in 1805, they came into the Spencer Gulf and got the boat in as far, the ship in as far as Curlew Point, which is where the wharf is in Port Augusta at the moment, and then they used a tender and come up to the head of the Gulf up here. So they got to this point here, which is Red Cliffs, and climbed up the hills here to get some bearings, and then they went another 3.2 k's up the Gulf there and got stuck in mud flats up there. So I'm assuming they got out of that when it was high tide. That was 1805. So it looks like they're spending a little bit of money here at the moment with putting signs on all the plants and newly planted plants everywhere. But there's a nice new information centre which has got a cafe in it, and they sell ice cream made from Australian native ingredients, so like quandongs and stuff like that. So we'll have to try some of that on the way out. So one thing I've been noticing is that most of the native plants in Australia are just really ugly, like this thing here. Good on you pronouncing the name of it too. But like their desert plants aren't particularly pretty. So there's a Rotary Park on the north end of town with an old water tower that you can climb up for a look. So we'll go and see how we go. We'll work out for Wendy's knee. We'll see how puffed I am when I get to the top. Puffed already, Wendy? Oh, that's hard work. Oh. Nice view. See how dry it is out there. All those beautiful wind turbines. Oh. So I think that's the Wadlata Ranges over that side, and the Flinders Ranges on the other side. Not part of the Flinders Ranges.
It's just brown.
Yeah. Council don't seem to mind watering the gardens though. Yeah.
I wonder what that's supposed to be. Is that like a public pool?
I think it's a what do you call it, a skate park.
Oh, maybe.
So that's where we're heading next, is down the western side of the Gulf of Spencer, down towards Port Lincoln. So we'll follow those mountain ranges down, and I think that's about nearly 500 k's south again. So we'll be back in the cooler weather again. Ooh.